Hey guys, it's KNM786 here, and today we have the Arctic Mobile Exploration Base. So we've got a lot of stuff to cover here. Let's get the box out of the way. This is from 2018. This is part of the Arctic Explorers line from City. I'm going to get a lot of the other stuff out of the way here for just a second. We're going to kind of focus on these things all one at a time. We'll start with the Mammoth. Get our turntable back in shot here. Scooch that over. There we go. Got like stuff everywhere. Alrighty. So, there we go. Okay. Mammoth. Woolly mammoth. Somewhat encased in ice. It's kind of the whole premise of this series here. With various tools, you are able to break said mammoth free. So we'll look at like the saw creature, the saw truck there as well. So we'll pull the mammoth out. The negative, there is no articulation in the body whatsoever. Literally solid chunk of plastic. Little indication of a tail, very much solidified. The trunk has a bit of movement, the tusks do as well. The head is on not really a ball joint, but kind of a hinge joint that does allow it to almost be like a ball joint. So that's an option there for you. And it just sits there. It has these ice blocks around it because it's frozen. So what the Arctic explorers do after they get the elephant, we don't know. But the whole point is you've got an elephant now and it's frozen solid. Got to break it free so they can do research and whatnot and different things. So there's that. We're going to scoot that out of the way. We're going to start with the smallest here. This is a sled. Currently has a lot of different things on it. One of those things is this right here, which, if I can get it to pop off for me, there we go. This can pick up the mammoth. It can also pick up crates and whatnot. It's got hooks, so there is a crane. I will show you that momentarily. Got a little hook there, so we're going to leave that right there for the time being. We're also holding a scout bike, and by the way, we can actually take the mammoth out of the ice, and it will sit here as well, if that's something you wanted to do. That's kind of why it's so big. Full sled, got little lights on there, nothing towards the back is the tail end. Let's look at what's in the crates. So you've got ice picks, you've got snowshoes, always useful. We're going to put those right back there. Try to line them up in such a way that the bike doesn't get affected here too much. If I can get them to line up again. Somehow, maybe, kind of, sort of. Or maybe that way first, for sure. There we go, pick that up. You kind of want to get them just a bit offset to where the studs are because it helps kind of keep them from getting in the way of holding the bike there. So essentially right off to the edge of wherever you're sticking them. And they'll just hang out. We're actually going to throw the mammoth on there in a minute. So flat surface for the mammoth, which if we pull the mammoth out again, would literally just be there. So there's enough for it to hold on to, and now you've got this huge mammoth that they're kind of carrying around. We'll get the mammoth back into his little ice home, just off the camera here. And then get that back over to the other side. Let's take a look at the bike. Pretty cool. This particular character if I don't pull his hands out, as Lego claw grip is pretty strong with this one. Pretty straightforward. This one's actually a girl on the bike, which there's nothing wrong with that. So she's out there in the elements while everyone else is kind of inside. So she's the scout. Pretty cool bike. The bike's really cool. I like the bike. And there's a little spot right there that'll hold it. Like once it's in there, it's in there. It's definitely secure. And then what I like to do, like I said, is I like to try to figure out a way to, there we go, get that to secure itself just on the side, because it'll help hold the bike and it'll keep it from moving. So first one, what is pulling that? Well, let's go to something with wheels on it next. And a giant saw. So as we can tell, you've got, give me one moment here. You've got this cool kind of vehicle here, the headlights. There is a acceptor for a tow hitch on the front. You've got more headlights. Guy in there's pretty happy. He's kind of got big wheels, kind of riding around, big machine, tail lights. And this can tow something. And we're going to get into that when we get all the vehicles kind of squared away here. So pretty cool. Got this thing that says access, but it's not really a container, it's just like a sticker for a panel. And this whole thing is articulated, so it can get, you know, definitely quite a bit of movement. And of course, spin that, not just as fun. I mean, can't go wrong with a giant, you know, claw. I like that I can get this to fold up in such a way that it's essentially just really out of the way for the most part, because you want it to almost be, you know, kind of in storage mode. And big tires, very fun vehicle. The cockpit here, you literally just pull the whole cockpit off, and then we get the little guy. It's just a steering wheel in there. Wiggle, wiggle. There we go. He's actually got a proper chair as well. So let's focus on him. There we go. Fuzzy hat. Got the glasses. If we can get him in the shot here. Let's back up a little bit. There we go. We'll put his hat back on, back into his seat, and get him all ready to go so we can get to the next sled here. And then that attaches in the front. There we go. And that one's ready to go. Next, we are looking at the lab itself. Please keep door closed. There's a little acceptor hitch. And then on the other side, you've got like caution, door swings outward. You've got two saws if you need them, as well as another hitch there as well. Bunch of lights, bunch of windows, and of course 2 ways to access for minifigures. Open sesame, and you've got the door, and then you've got little satellite dish, which you can actually kind of use, and sometimes it's easier to pop it out from the bottom there. Pop that open, and we've got people. So there's a hat rolling around in there, no back printing. Let me pull this one out so you can kind of see that one. This guy, which we've seen in some of the other ones. I'm going to stick them back in there, hiding out. You've got a little computer screen right there, which if it will focus, there we go. And then you've got you've got some places to sit, and you've got the bed that the other one's on right now, and then they're looking at a bone. And of course, the ever important coffee maker, just barely nestled in there. So little spectrometer or something for the bone there. And there you go, a little bit of a mobile lab, because this is, of course, the mobile exploration base. So it's kind of the way the base is set up here. It's a cool little building on Sled, so it can kind of scoot around. I like it. I think it's neat. So let's put that there as I'm running out of space. All right, this is the one that is in the lead. So the lead vehicle, the big one here, huge Arctic truck here. Big balloon tires, you got stairs to go up, rear view mirror, of course, because, you know, I mean, gotta be able to do that here. Tail lights. This one does not have a front tow hitch, so like the other Sled that only has a receiver, this is only just the one as it tries to roll away here. This is like a full-on like crane here. It's basically a mobile crane in a way. Speaking of the crane, well, we've got it kind of in this view here. You've got this right here. It can be controlled from either side, but essentially, and it's a clear gear, which is kind of cool. You can raise it, and then it can be extended as well. Bit stiff on mine just because I don't really extend it very often. It's a very short extension, so you get maybe a hair of it if you really need it. And then of course, you know, you just reinsert it, but you don't really need too much of it as the whole thing rotates. So, and then if you look, without any extension, that's a pretty good amount of lift. And then the neat thing is you can get right down to the ground to pick something up. So there's actually quite a bit of range of motion away from the vehicle itself. And then for full, can we go vertical? We can get pretty darn close. Yep, fully vertical. Not that that would be advisable for anything you're carrying. So full 360-degree rotation, and it can pick up various items. We are going to flip it that way, because we're going to take a look at what's on the inside. So first we'll look at the roof. Before we get in there, let's see if we can see anything through the windows. Got somebody who's got a huge bay of windows to look through. You got some more stuff going on there, so let's pop that open, and it literally just flips open. And I see heads in there. Who do we have in here? We've got two different characters in here. You can see there's a control panel. Almost got like a radar system on it. We could say it's to help the crane, steering wheel, coffee mug, of course. Let's pull out the driver. And we'll move the joysticks out of the way if we can get them out of the way here as we wiggle this person free of their thing here. And of course on either side you also have these little pressure gauges and things. So we've got Grumpy over here and we've got Smiley. And there's no alternate face printing. Come on, there we go. Focus started to lose it there. So we got these guys, maybe because driving all the time, or maybe because the same one from a previous Arctic set where he was stuck out in the cold and he's like, well, finally I'm inside, but I'm still mad about it from earlier. All right, so I'm going to rotate this back around. I'm going to stow the crane. And it'll sit, like it's not going to like fly around anywhere. But what we're going to do is we're going to grab this, we're going to scooch the turntable away. And we are going to get this whole train kind of going here. So let's realign a bit. We've got this one connecting here. All right, so we got the lab. I'm gonna scoot this all the way back so you guys can get a better look. Got the lab. Then next vehicle. Connect that as well. And then finally the sled, and I'm gonna get all that into the shot here in a minute. Luckily they are all on tow hitches with a little bit of a ball joint, which means we can turn them all so it's kind of pulling everything along here. If we can kind of get that about here. Let me back up in my space here, and you'll see you've got a full train. You can flip these around as needed, so that's definitely an option, but essentially they would be linked all together, so wherever they're going, we're not having, nobody's getting lost essentially. And that, as I swing this guy back around here, get my turntable flipped to the other side, and it kind of drags it off. There we go. So as I pop these off again, you've got your sled. We've got the other vehicle here. We'll just disconnect that right from the front and flip his little tow bar up. And we've got this cool balloon tire kind of claw guy here, we'll say, this saw vehicle. And then of course we've got the lab that's being pulled along, which we can also just disconnect, flip the lab, the main truck with the crane, and of course the Mammoth. Can't forget about the Mammoth. So all of that is part of the 2018 Arctic Mobile Exploration Lab from the City Explorers line, the Arctic Explorers line from 2018. Pretty cool. You're getting a lot. It's almost like a convoy type thing with everything linked together. Get a lot to kind of mess with the balloon tires. Really, really cool. Mammoth is always neat, and you get a lot of figures, a lot of vehicles. Definitely a lot to play with, so really, really cool set. And that's all I've got for you today, so we will see you on the next one. Please like and subscribe, and have a good rest of your day.